Hello everyone and welcome. I'm so excited to be able to share my thesis in music composition with all of you. It is called Nova, Creating a Film Score with an Imaginary Film. I am very interested in film scoring, particularly the ways that the visual, narrative, and musical elements all interact to tell a story and evoke emotion from an audience. So I wanted to create a project that could most closely simulate the scoring experience given the resources I had available to me. How I went about doing that was starting with the story, and then next I created themes for each character, and then created outlines for each piece, and then I went in and fully orchestrated, making edits and creating the complete score. The story itself centers on themes of loss, grief, and the change that comes with it. The narrative follows three characters, Liv, Asha, and Denny, as they embark on a journey through a magical forest to help find closure for the death of their friend, Nova. This journey allows these characters to experience this processing separate from the rest of the world, with the help of a benevolent forest entity to guide them along the way. Throughout the story, Asha, Liv, and Denny learn to process certain traumatic events and emotions and grow to become a support system for each other. Each of them has a primary emotion that drives their experience. Liv is afraid of forgetting and moving on, Asha feels guilt, and Denny is experiencing denial. I also assign different elements to each of these feelings. Guilt is fire, fear of forgetting is fog, denial is ice, feeling and truly processing is represented by ocean, and acceptance is earth.
So at this point in my presentation, I'm going to show you the themes that I wrote at the beginning of my project. So first of all, this is Sibelius, the notation software that I use. So the first one is forest, and the goal with this one was to kind of sound airy and hollow, but also have some interesting melodies. The next one here is the forest entity. And the goal with this theme was to have it be kind of mysterious, but also warm. Nova's theme is probably the most significant one throughout the whole piece. It's there from beginning to end. And even when the character Nova is not there, the whole journey is defined by her absence and her presence. With Liv's theme, I wanted to make it something that on the surface felt like it was trying to be okay, but there's just something simmering underneath. Asha had to be very characteristic of guilt and also with fire. I wanted it to sound like your skin is crawling. Denny was innocent sounding because she's in denial. She's living in this fantasy world. So that's about it for the themes. Let's take a look at one of the pieces to see how the themes are interwoven. So this is Nova, the 10th and final piece in which they get to see Nova again. They can say goodbye. As you can see, I've put in little text boxes showing what happens where. This is mainly for the benefit of the performers. It helps adequately portray the emotions. So I'm just going to play it through the beginning. So right away we see Nova's theme. So this is when they have their big reunion and it's very warm, exciting. So here we'll be going into the section where Denny says goodbye to Nova. So you'll hear Denny's theme. So now we're getting into the part where Asha says goodbye to Nova. So Asha sort of tells her the feelings of guilt that she's been having. And so you'll notice Asha's theme in the piano. Here you'll also see how Nova's theme is worked in over Asha's. Now, sort of resolution of that scene. This is the point where Liv and Nova say goodbye. Liv has known Nova since childhood. I wanted to make their goodbye be a little bit more innocent sounding, but also bittersweet. There's Liv's theme again, a little more obviously. This is a point where the forest entity's theme comes in. Forest entity has not been the center of this scene at all. She's just sort of been there, but now Nova knows that she has to leave. So she turns and recognizes the forest entity, bringing her back into the scene. You'll see in the cello part, this has bits of the forest entity's theme. It's kind of like da 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 da. here we come back into Nova's theme, but it's bigger and it's more dramatic. They know it's the last time they're going to see her, so it's obviously emotional. So that little part in the piano is something that I put in the forest piece. So the reason I bring it back is because it's where Nova disappears and there's nothing left but the forest. And so now the forest entity offers to guide them out of the forest. They are going to say no because they know the way now. Here I have a little bit of Nova's theme coming in again, because even though she is gone at this point, her memory still is being carried with them as they leave. They're just more at peace with it now.
So, as I'm making this recording, I'm currently in the process of finding performers to record my piece. Unfortunately, I won't be able to have a live performance due to COVID. If you're interested in hearing the piece when it's finished, I should be posting it to YouTube at some point. I also have a music Instagram where I will be posting updates. Thank you all so much for taking the time to hear my presentation. I would also like to thank my thesis committee, especially my first reader and composition teacher, Dr. Jeswinski. I would also like to thank my good friend Lauren McGrath for creating the beautiful artwork that you have seen throughout this presentation. And finally, I would like to thank my friends to whom this project is dedicated, Sally, Ariel, and of course, Hope. This is for you. Thank you.